Hi, I'm Storm.
And I'm Mike.
And we are from Advanced Group.
And what are we talking about today, Storm?
We are talking about toilet signs, and today we have a female ambulant toilet sign, which I must say I don't think I've seen or know what it really means.
Yep, good question. I don't believe a lot of people would. This is a new thing to the Australian standards. Now, for particular bathrooms that are for disabled, they're much bigger than a normal bathroom, and that's because the person has a wheelchair and they need to be able to get on and off the toilet and have that ability to move that wheelchair around and move themselves and their body around into different spots where a normal toilet cubicle wouldn't allow that. And so because they are so much bigger, not everyone has the space to have a disabled toilet at their premises. And so they might be able to have a larger cubicle than a normal cubicle that has no mobility access, but then not enough for a proper disabled toilet space. So this particular toilet would be a bigger toilet that would allow for somebody that's using crutches, as the pictogram would explain or give away. So it's, it may or may not have some handles or grab bars for people to be able to get off and on the toilet. It's more just because it's slightly bigger than a normal cubicle, but not necessarily the same size as a normal disabled toilet. So that's why it's called an ambulant toilet. It just means someone that's having mobility problems, but not necessarily in a wheelchair. And it's not necessarily the same as a normal disabled toilet. So that explains that. What else have we got?
I know there's dotted lines along the bottom. Do they mean anything?
Yes, good question. So the dots at the bottom, they're raised, and that's for people to be able to read with their fingertips. So people who are vision impaired would be able to feel along the bottom of the sign with their fingertips and be able to read what this toilet sign is. And with people who are vision impaired, they still have a percentage of vision, so they might not be completely blackout blind, obviously, so they can still see some light, but things might be blurry. And so for those sorts of people, they would be able to see that there's a sign on the door that might indicate to them that it's a toilet, and they might be able to read with their fingers to see if that is actually the right toilet for them. So that explains that.
Can this be both put up inside and outside, and how do you put it up?
Yes, good question. So all of these signs come with a double-sided tape. It's more like a pad. And so this pad has a backing on both sides of the adhesive just to protect the adhesive. So if you didn't want to glue it or screw it onto the door, which most people would just use this pad, then you could peel off one side of the backing, stick it onto the back of the sign, and then I would normally mark out around the perimeter of the sign where I'm holding it onto the door with some tape, not pen or pencil, because we don't want to mark the door permanently. So first things I would do is find the level that I want the sign above the door, find the centre of the door, and then with a spirit level I would get this level on the door, mark out with some tape around the perimeter of the sign on the door, and then I would peel off the second part of the backing on the double-sided tape, stick it onto the door, and then finally remove the masking tape off the door so we wouldn't leave any marks. Just be careful because you don't want to have to reposition it because once you peel it off you might peel off some paint on the door, so just make sure you do it properly the first time.
If they wanted to screw it in, would they be able to?
Yep, definitely. Some people don't trust double-sided tape for whatever reason, and so if you wanted to screw it onto the door, you could either punch or drill some holes in the corners and screw it onto the door, or alternatively there are specialist adhesives which you can buy for sticking onto multiple different surfaces with a specialist adhesive. So that's definitely a possibility. Yep.
What are the measurements for something?
So this particular sign is 180 mil square from the look of it. Yep. And it meets the Australian standards. So the Australian standards have changed over time. So if you're looking for something that's the same size as what you have that's existing, you might not be able to find it on the internet or anywhere just because the old signs have become obsolete and no longer meet Australian standards. And anyone that has a premises that's accessible by the public would be required by law to have a sign like this, as in for their toilet, it would need to comply for Braille and the dimensions, etc. And so even if you just had a showroom that had a toilets accessible by the public, you would still need to have a Braille sign. Yeah. What else did we need to know? Toilet. So this particular sign is for females only, and it says toilet, so it means just one cubicle beyond that door. So it wouldn't be at an external door where there's multiple cubicles. So that's why it just says toilet with no S on the end. Weather. Yep. Did we mention weather?
If it could go outside as well, yes.
Yeah. So I can't remember if we mentioned it, but I'll just mention it if we didn't already. This is UV stable polycarbonate plastic, so it's very strong and durable. The double-sided tape is also weather durable, so it's fine to get wet and it's not going to get any damage from that. You can buy this sign online from www.advancedgrip.com.au, and if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, you can press subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, bye.